Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Michael. I'm back again with you today. Just another installment in my daily channel. Had a pretty good day yesterday. I'm proud to say that the special project that I'm working on for my brand, I got a compliment on it, an unwarranted compliment on it, uh, and that feels good. Have you ever just received a compliment out of the blue and it kind of made your day? And I think the special thing about this compliment, it was on something that I created and nobody knew that it was something that I created when they complimented it. So it made it feel that much better to let me know that uh, what I'm doing is okay. And even if it's just one person, that's just one person among the 30 people I may have seen through the course of the day that saw the things that I'm working on. Uh, that made me feel good, and it gives me a little bit of gumption to know that I can do it. I can do it, and I think that's all we need. And I think life is about failures, and I think life is built by failure. I want you to remember that because um, I had this interesting thought just earlier today, and thought, what if a baby trying to walk fell and never tried to walk again? How long? That's just not something that's realistic in the course of life for a baby. It's we're all babies at some point in life. I don't care what it is. And if you follow the train of thought, we're always new at something or another. There's a language that we don't know. There's a skill set that we don't know. And we feel foolish and it hurts and it sucks and we don't want to try it. And maybe we want to cry. We want to do all the things that a baby does when we don't understand how to get the thing that we're looking for. And yet we still have to keep going. And then the more that we keep going and going and going, the easier it gets. So the more we start to catch the rhythm of whatever it is that we're trying to learn. And then the easier it gets. And then before you know it, it's just second nature. You don't even realize that it's something that you were having such a tough time with before. That's what I have. Like whenever I started going to the gym, golly, I did not want to lift heavy weights. It was, so I just went with light weights. And it makes you feel like a fool because you're in there with a bunch of people who are obviously in better shape than you sometimes, and they're lifting weights. And as a man, you don't want to go in there lifting little 5 pound weights, or at some point in time, you just gotta quit caring about what other people think so much. I guess it matters in an amount that you want it to matter, but again, we're all babies at some point. We have to start from somewhere. And if we start out trying to do something that we can't physically do, it could stun us from ever trying to walk again like that baby. But if we crawl before we walk, if we take baby steps, if we just start with the little things, we hold on to something. Just to go back to that illustration, it becomes something that we can let go of, and then we can move on to do harder things, and we can become better. And before you know it, we're running, and before you know that, we're running miles and marathons and triathlons. There's so much that can happen just from us not stopping. In my particular life, I've had a lot of failures. I've had a lot of different businesses that I've tried to be in. Uh, and sometimes it's just not the right time. And maybe it wasn't the right opportunity. Maybe it just wasn't what was meant to be. Uh, it doesn't stop it from being a lesson, though. And so when I say failures, we're built by failures, I mean that we're built by the things that have challenged us in life, and that maybe we didn't get through it the way that we wanted to, but we learned something from it. We learn something from every time that we fail. When we fail the test, we learn how it sucks. It relatively sucks when I remember back in high school or junior high or whenever when the teacher used to pass out paper tests, and she'd fold them over so you couldn't see it, or maybe you fold it over into something good, but you know to see a grade that you knew you could do better than, or worse yet, a grade you knew you deserved because you didn't put forth the effort. And sometimes you just sat with that, and sometimes we sit with that in life. And I feel that sometimes as a part of my life, I've sat in failure and I've just been okay with it. And I haven't really been okay with it, but it's something I just sat in and I was not content. And I'm very grateful for a lot of things that I've been through. Come to think of it, I'm very grateful because I heard the saying, "What is meant for me will not miss me," and that means something to me now because all the things that I've been through to get to the point where I'm at today. And even though it's not where I want to be in life, it's what it's taught me so I can get to where I'm going. You know, you can get in a maze and you can hit a few wrong walls a lot of times, but if you keep track of the things that have been wrong, you can eventually get to the way that's right. And eventually you can get to the end of the maze and success. And I think that's what life is about. It's about knowing that you're trying to get somewhere, knowing that you're going to run into roadblocks, knowing that there's going to be issues. And here's where the word grace comes back into play. You know, showing yourself some grace that these are a part of life. These things that we go through, these roadblocks, these walls, these failures as a baby, these baby steps, these periods of life where we are the baby in something, all matriculate into something that'll for the bigger picture for what we're trying to get to. If we use it, if we stop, then I'd hate to live in regret. I'd hate to live in regret. I'd hate to think that I wish I could have. I hate that. I don't know if there was a sometimes, in the past there may have been a girl I was too shy to talk to. And you don't know that we're all shy, and maybe that wasn't what was meant to be, of course. Uh, but you wonder what if. You wonder, have you ever been there where you just wonder, man, what if I'd have talked to her? You see somebody and it brings up the past and you wonder what could have happened if you would have been the one to take the step. Guess what? What is meant for you won't miss you. And if you keep on pursuing, especially your goals, your dreams, your plans, we got to dream bigger. There's more out there than settling for what we have. And the only thing we have to do is put in a little bit of work. I'm personally proud of myself on a lot of things. I'm the more I'm consistent, the more I keep following my systems, the more I see myself getting higher and higher and higher at things that I wasn't that good at before in the gym today. I'm repping 225, and that was something when I was younger I couldn't do that. It was an impossible weight. It was something I would hear the guys in the gym and they'd be shaking the weights, and it was the most beautiful sound to hear those four plates just shaking on the bar. It was, I tell you, it sounded like a rap video. It was the most beautiful thing to me, but I never made that. It's not that I gave up. I just didn't try anymore. I guess I did give up, but today as a older man, it's something that I was able to accomplish. And it feels good, but it's like now I just want more. And I think that's what it becomes. It's like you set goals knowing that then eventually other things are possible. And then it makes everything seem possible. Then it makes all those failures seem almost worth it. And unfortunately, we do have to go through some of them, but at some point in life, we're going to figure out that those failures were worth it because we're going to get somewhere, especially if we keep our minds to it and we stay focused and realize that what is meant for us will not miss us. I guess that's the biggest point for today. That's all I really want to say. Again, I got a lot of things coming. I can't wait to say what tomorrow brings. But until then, that's all for today. We'll see you next time, all right?